Hi everyone. Have you ever caught yourself in making stories? Like you will see that something has happened, and then you see yourself going into stories that your mind is always making. So, what are you thinking? Have you even checked what are you thinking at any given time? Most of the times, your mind is busy in making stories about what it will do if this will happen and what it will would have done based on that past situation. So see what happens. Our mind works on memories and obviously on imagination. So these are the two things. So for example, something happened while you were driving and something happened in the past, and based on that situation at that time, you made a particular memory. Now whenever you pass through that event, like you are driving again and you pass through that particular point, that memory jumps back into your mind, and then you start making stories just related to that past event which happened at that point in the past. So say if you have hit a car, uh, maybe you were going through driving somewhere and you hit a car, and you will see, so everything happened all good, and then you going back from on the same road, same direction, and you pass through that particular junction where you had that accident. So what will happen, or you had a road rage with someone, and so what will happen now, memory will jump back in, and then you will go back into those memories again, and then your imagination will take over, and then obviously you will start making stories that I would have done this to that, I would have done that, or I would have replied to him in this way. If he comes see me again, I'll show him this. And these stories which are happening in your mind, they do bring a lot of do bring a lot of feelings, and a lot of obviously feeling of anger or some unrest in you. And sometimes you can, in those stories, when you get involved in those stories, this can really go for a really long time. Like those stories which you are building up in your mind, it can go for the whole day, and then you are filled with rage, and that person is nowhere nearby, and he don't even know where you live, he don't even know what you're doing. And this is just a very simple example. This could happen in your home also. Like if you are doing something and somebody came in and you had a fight, small fight, there was a memory, there was some miscommunication or gap, or sometimes some person is, so out of some expectation somebody want you to do something, and you don't want to do it, or you haven't done it. So he had some expectations out of you, and you had expectations that how did he behave to me in that particular way. So what's happening, you are building up memories now. So that memory, so when you see that person again ever in your life, or like you see that person again same day or next day, and you're doing the same thing, and then even if that person is not saying anything, or he just left the place, but the situation is building up in your mind, and you're now going jumping back into those stories which you're making in your mind. So these are all the talks which are going in your mind based on that particular memory. And now what happens when memory gets mixed with imagination, so you start thinking about something in future, what will you do, how would you reply, or this can bring a lot of anger in you, or a lot of irritation or rage in you. And that's how we keep on piling up on top of each other. And what we are doing is, we are just, so see what happens, these thoughts, they bring feelings, because mind and body is highly interconnected. So these thoughts, they keep on building up a lot of bad feelings in the body, and that's how you still, you build up some things which you should not be doing, and some anger, or some crazy thoughts in your mind, and then you live in that thing for a really long time. Like it could go for days, could go for months. So but that third person, the person which was involved in it in the past, is nowhere nearby, is not doing anything, not saying anything. He might have apologized also, but we just keep on feeding our self unnecessarily, feeding with those bad memories, feeding with those bad feelings. And then these things do lead to some unbuilt or built up anger in you, which could explode in different way, or it could lead to some serious disease or something. So that's why you need to catch yourself while you are making those, while your mind is making those stories, and then snap out of those stories, because what happened has happened. The possibility of happening it in the same particular way again is like zero, or could be like 0.1%, or like very minimal. But because you, that thing happened and the memory just jumped in, and you're now rolling in those memories, and with a mix of imagination, mixing of thoughts, you just keep on rolling into that for a long time. You're doing nothing harm to other, you're just harming yourself. So that's why they say in meditation, when you sit for meditation, you see how, what's the value of your thoughts. They have zero value. They contribute nothing good in your life if you're not doing them actively. So there are passive thoughts which are just happening in your mind all the time, and then active thoughts which you're thinking right now. So those active things will certainly benefit you. But if you're rolling in just passive thoughts, they will just bring harm. They will do no good to anyone. So catch yourself when the mind is making those stories. That could be your moment of awareness. That could be a time when you wake up, and you will become conscious of your own thoughts, and then you stop that pattern. Once you stop the pattern, then from there onwards you will start making something new habits which are good habits, or at least new awareness, where you have where you have left the bad chain of some memories. You have broken the chain. Now you're more conscious, more aware of your surroundings, and you know what you're doing. So that's how you break this chains. Otherwise you will keep on rolling in the same thing, you keep on doing the same mistakes, and then you say that why good things are not coming to you, because the way you think, you work in that way, you behave in that way, or you act in that way. And the way you're thinking, if becomes same continuous thinking, same process, then it becomes the way of acting. So you just keep on acting in the same way, and then obviously when you're acting in the same way unconsciously, how will you change the things what you want to change? Because you're not doing anything new. But once you start breaking that pattern of your mind, once you start identifying your mind what it is doing, and then you stop it, then obviously you're more aware, more conscious, and then you can start doing some new things. And from those new things you build up some new good memories, and a new way of dealing things. And then obviously whatever you're looking for, you will look for future in a good way, because you're not rolling in the bad fashion as compared to what you have been doing. So that's what you need to do. You need to be aware of your own thoughts first of all, and then sometimes you go to a particular space or point where those memories comes up. Those memories then will start again those thoughts, and then the chain again starts. So memory is not just a memory of your mind, your thoughts, but memory is also engraved in your body. Sometimes you don't even know, so you don't even know, you pick up a phone and start checking it, and you're like, why I'm doing this? I was just doing something else. So because the body has a memory, body just do things. When we put up the lights, your hand will still know where to feed, where the mouth is. If there is some itch happening, it knows where to itch it. So the body has a memory, it builds up memory, same way mind builds up memory. So it's not just you passing through somewhere and the thought will come up and activate that memory. Even the body, the feelings what you had at that particular point can activate those memories. And when those memories gets activated, obviously you start building up thoughts, and then you start again rolling on that. So this is becomes the way of life, and then obviously nothing new will happen because we're still doing the same old thing. So that's what we need to change. So you become aware of how things happen. Mind works on memories from past, and it just keeps on rolling into them. Or sometimes the memories they come from body also, and then the thought gets activated and you just start rolling again. So the mind just makes a lot of stories all the time. It's thinking all the time, it's making stories all the time. You're replying to yourself, you will act in this way, do this way, that way. But this is totally irrelevant. It will bring no clarity, and obviously nothing new will happen once you break this pattern. So identify yourself. What are you doing? How this mind is making stories in itself, how it's rolling in its thoughts, and then stop there, and then start living in the present moment. Like, see what's happening around you, how the things are happening, and then you will, when you become conscious and aware, you will become aware of all the good things around you, the beauty around you, and the fear will leave you. Obviously you will do something good from there, because you need to break the pattern. Once, if you not break the pattern, will break this pattern, the life will go on the same way. If you want to change it, then you have to change the way things are happening, and you have to be more aware and more conscious. Hope it brings some clarity. Thank you.